Hotepu gatekeepers. Today we move on to our third tablet, this famous scene of the judgment scene of Ani in the Hall of Truth and Conscience. And we have been so far going through the first two tableaus over the last 20 days. So you've made it. You've done 20 days of laying down at night, simply closing your eyes, and intending to reproduce a clear, sharp image of the previous tableaus. There is a word in Rinkam, or ancient Kemetic, called Sa. Sa means honey, nectar, wisdom, intelligence, or magic. They're all the same word, Sa. Sa also refers to the mental or the astral substance, that kind of plastic, glittery substance of the imagination that we use to form our senses within our mind. So, for example, if you were to close your eyes and try to imagine a breeze across your face, the smell of the ocean, the smell of fresh cut oranges, a rainbow, you're actually using some kind of matter in the imaginal realm, in your brain, that is forming those images. Well, that plastic, morphable substance we call Sa. It's called magic. In other words, the imagination uses Sa to form its images and senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. You can hear the sound of dolphins chirping, if you wish, in your mind. You are molding the Sa force to create that sound mentally. So when you learn to focus an image, the reason we use the word Sa as the images and senses in our imagination, as the same word for honey or nectar, is because when you pour honey, honey is a fluid, but once it hits the plate or hits the saucer, it tries to congeal and it tries to lock itself in. Unlike water, it doesn't try to keep spilling and moving or spreading. It tries to concentrate itself. So this property of honey trying to concentrate and stabilize itself was analogous to an initiate trying to control his images, control his senses within his mind, within his imagination. Because once you control your imagination, you activate magic, or Sa. You can do things with that focused mind. That single pointedness, that one mindfulness, can actually move energies around you and within you. It can move chi. So, although it seems like a very simple little exercise, review the tableau, try to repaint it in your mind with full color and full imagination as you fall asleep. You're doing a very advanced dream practice. The magic of Sa, concentration of the honey-like substance of the imaginal realm. And as you do that week after month after year, your mind becomes stronger and stronger and stronger without a lot of effort. So now we come to the most complex image so far. This famous scene, which I call the Golden Tablet. It is the core of the entire Kemetic religion. And now your goal is to try to visualize this scene, which we'll see again in December. Visualize this scene minus the hieroglyphs, meaning don't strive to visualize all the words in writing here. Just the drawn images, the characters that you see here, the figures. Simply try to replay them in your mind tonight. Now, I will go over this scene more in the next 10 days, so watch for new videos breaking down this image a little bit more and a bit more each time. I want to keep it rather general today, as this is our first time seeing this. I guarantee you, though, this is the most important image of them all. For this is the image that grants all the powers of the universe and turns you from a common gay man into a divine gay man. It is this scene. And this is the scene that controls all the dreaming arts. So basically, in very broad strokes, we have the central theme. What is central in an Egyptian image is the central theme. So this scale is the scale of absolute truth, the scale of integrity, the scale of good character. And here we have the jackal man, symbolic of your belief systems, your way of thinking, under one pan, by one pan here. And this pan is the feather of truth, good character, and conscience. It is the feather of completion, of spiritual evolution, of holistic spiritual completion, what we call becoming in all spirits. This feather, called the feather Ma'ah, the feather of truth, justice, character, and completion of enlightenment. The law of heaven, it is the feather of the divine law, is weighed against your heart, called your Ab, or your mind. So your thoughts are weighed against the divine laws, the ideal laws, and your clarity of understanding them in your heart and in your mind. So what we're weighing here are your thoughts against the feather of truthfulness. We have here your belief systems. We have this figure who is your transits of your chart. His name is Shai. He's your chart transits, or your karma schedule. He is also known in ancient Kemet as the Shwapti. Your transits in your chart, meaning the patterns the planets make throughout your life, bringing you certain events, certain challenges and opportunities, were called Shwaptis, the answerers. So he is the god of your transit cycles. This is Meshkanet, the birthing brick, symbolic of your astrology chart, because the day you were born, you received a chart. So your astrology chart shall be weighed. How you handled your transit shall be weighed. This is your Ba, called your divine spark. And the Ba in the golden beetle system represents the 4 higher astrology signs. The archer, called Sagittarius, the goatfish, called Capricorn, the water bearer, called Hapi, or Aquarius, and the fish we call Nun, or you may know as Pisces. Those 4 signs represent your higher divine self, the witness consciousness. He stands upon a building of your spirit and of your earthly adventures. So we have the divine witness, who was always a guardian angel witnessing your earthly adventures. We have here 2 drag queens called Renanut and Meshkanut, the same thing as the birth deity, but Renanut is also known as your name, your divine name. Upon the scale center we have a baboon god called Awon, your tricky mind, your cunning, sneaky, excuse-giving mind, your justifications for your bad behaviors. He's sitting upon the center of this scale, which you see forms a cross. He is the first deity upon the cross, but the cross means the crossroads, the tests, the challenges of your life. when you had to choose between good and evil, right and wrong, light and dark. It is your cockamamie monkey mind that either determines that you'll take what's called the deterministic or the high road, or the entropic or the low road at this crossroads of your transits and their trials. Then we have up here 12 neteru, 12 archangels, symbolic of the 12 great labors of initiation, or the 12 zodiac signs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 2 here, so 7, 8, 9, 10, then 2 here, 11, 12. So these are the gods, the archangels of the 12 zodiac signs, the labors of enlightenment. Again, here we have an offering table that Africans have always known you must do rituals and feed the gods. Then we have here the god called Ma'atihuti, Ma'atihuti, or sometimes just Tihuti, or sometimes just Ma'a. He is a scribe here. He's the recording angel. He is the one recording the judgment. If your heart was as light as the feather of truth, did you live a life with a heart filled with truth, justice, goodness, and completion of initiation? These scales ask you, have you completed? Ma'a means holistic being. Have you completed initiation? And at what level of completion? At what grade? You may have finished college, but what was your GPA? He's going to measure and score you. And what he's looking at, because he's a great astrologer god, he's looking at how you lived your, what we call your seed of life, destiny reading, and how you lived your transits and your charts karmas. And he's writing this down, recording it on the Akashic records. What he's holding here is the quill of the Akashic records, meaning the universe will remember you. What you have done shall be imprinted upon the universe, and the universe will not forget what you've done to it. And that's where karma comes from. Karma is basically the universe's memory, and how you as a member of the universe brought either goodness or evolution to the universe, or you tried to impede it by being a jerk, being ignorant, being violent, being stupid, not following spiritual law, not doing your meditations, being a drunk alcoholic, drug addict. If you did those things, you actually retarded the evolution of the universe, and the universe will get you back. He will make sure of this, because he's the god of our high oracles. So when you get a golden beetle high oracle of Ra reading, he says, remember me? Remember what you didn't learn? So he reveals your destiny, meaning your curriculum. The universe is growing. It's trying to evolve and expand and learn. The universe is a living being, and it wants to learn. And it tries to learn from each of its components, because each individual component or singularity in the universe, you are a singularity, a unique being. No other being in all the universe can experience the universe from your point of view, or from the 278,000th leaf to the left of the bottommost leaf of a tree. That itty-bitty leaf. No other leaf can experience the universe from that exact point of view. That unique XYZ axis. So the universe wants to see what that tiny little point of view is learning. What you, from your point of view, are learning. what every bird, every rock, every grain of sand from its point of view is learning. And it feeds that lesson back into the universe, and the universe feeds back to that thing or back to you a response. And there's this feedback loop where you blink in and blink out. You go from your state of mind and you kind of zone out for a split second and feed the information back to the great cosmos, and you come back to awareness and it gives you a response. He controls all of that. He was called the Eye of Ra. Well, why the Eye of Ra? Because an eye blinks. Blinking, and if you study physics, particularly quantum physics, you learn that particles appear, disappear at a very fast rate, at about the speed of light. They blink in, they blink out. When they blink in, they are conscious. When they blink out, they are in the subconscious world, depositing their point of view, their lessons, and their experience into the great collective unconscious. Then they come back and they blink into being. Then they blink out again. What you're doing is depositing karma into the universe, and he's recording your deposits. He's ruled by the planet Tehuti Ap Taui, called Jupiter, also called the Great Banker. He's recording what you're depositing in the bank of the universe. And if you are found to be a jerk, an ignoramus, a violent fool, that means you are racist, you are hetero-insecure or homophobic, you are sexist, you are a bully, you are just a nasty person, then your heart will be heavier than the feather, and this great beast called Aumaum, or Aumit, the eater of hearts, begins to slobber and lick its tongue to swallow your heart into oblivion. This is the symbolic form of guilt, of heavy heart, and of forgetfulness of who you are. Part crocodile, part lion's mane, part cheetah, part hippo. It's a 4-part being, and 4 is the number of squaring. So a square means a stressful, intense dynamism going on here, because if you're not level with truth, you brought tension or a squaring effect to people. You are a jerk and a nuisance and obnoxious and negative, so you must be eaten. And what's devoured is your mind or your memory. When you reincarnate, you forget who you were last life, you forget where you came from, you forget your lessons. It's like repeating 8th grade over and over and over, Groundhog Day. Every lifetime you are eaten by this monster. Your heart here, your Ab, is eaten. It's like you're repeating the same course, Groundhog's Day. Whereas if you are seen to be what's called Ma'keru, or vindicated in truth, then you reincarnate each lifetime remembering all your lessons, so you don't repeat the same lessons over. You jump to the next grade. So this tableau has a lot of details I won't go into right now, but I want to give you a small snippet of what you're looking at, because that may help you to memorize it, because this is a very complex image, has a lot more going on here than the other 2 tablets. So if you have a sense of the meaning of these things, they might be easier to memorize. Here, by the way, we have a plumb bob called the Tekken, yes, or Tik-Tik-Kun, Tik-Tik-Kun, and this represents the plumb bob of a still mind, of a stable heart or a stable mind. The word Ab here, heart, also meant mind, meaning a stable, enlightened, truthful mind. So, remember to do your best to try to memorize the figurines here, not the words or the text. Do your best. Do your best. This particular tableau is worth its weight in gold. That's why I've nicknamed it the Golden Tablet. and you will find magical forces open within you, within your sa, within your imagination. Your mind will be given the power to do all kinds of mysterious things when you learn to focus it like honey sitting congealed on a saucer. May your images be sweet. May they be strong. And may they be accurate. So practice, practice, practice. Be well. Dwawend Hotepu.